We hit 35 million players.
Year 8 in For Honor. It's going to be amazing.
Year 8 is called Forged in War. Under this theme, we're going to explore the most valuable asset in the world of For Honor, our weapons. Our weapons define how we fight and remind us of what we fight for.
Whether you're talking about a crafted story with lore, or maybe your own emergent story of how you brought down an enemy team while breaking in Dominion, that all begins and ends with the weapon.
For example, in Season 1, we're going to see how the Knights fight for chivalry. In Season 2, we're going to explore a samurai story. Season 3 will be about the Vikings, and Season 4, the Outlander. In Year 8, we are going to continue to bring all new battle passes at the launch of each new season. Additionally, we're going to bring a new feature called the Legacy Pass.
What's really interesting about those legacy passes is that if you weren't around at Year 4 and you didn't get to experience that content, you didn't have a chance to get all those cool executions, the cool looking gear, all that sort of stuff, you can actually now get them. If you had bought a battle pass previously, it still is unlocked as it was. And it's at the level it was when the battle pass ended.
For the Legacy Pass, in Year 8, we're going to retrofit the content from the Battle Pass to the heroes that have launched after those Battle Passes. Converted maps are a new feature that we're bringing to For Honor. Players have been asking for a long time for more variety in Dominion map selection. And finally, we're going to bring 2 converted maps through the year. The first will be at the end of Season 1, and the second will come by the end of the year.
Converted map is one of the topics that has been raised for years, and our team has been working very, very hard to achieve the goal.
It's not an easy process. We have to add a new minion lane, we have to add capture points, but we're able to take a lot of the amazing content that we have in other game modes and readapt it to have the Dominion experience, which is what we're known for.
I am so excited about the heroes that are coming to For Honor in Year 8.
The first will be a samurai in the middle of Season 2, and the second will be an Outlander in the middle of Season 4.
Season 2's samurai hero will be very unique and distinct because of samurai is aiming for the mastery, and this mastery of the weapons are going to be the key of this new hero.
And the other, I'd say, I can reveal it's a villain, and the villain's going to have a pretty major impact.
And she will, can I say she?
So hero skins are central to Year 8. They're the ones who are wielding our legendary weapons. In some cases, these legends are forged through the actions of our heroes, and in other cases, our skins may take up a weapon that's already legendary, and they're trying to live up to its name.
In Forged in War, we're going to bring at least 4 hero skins. Season 1 will feature the Knights, Season 2 the Samurai, Season 3 the Vikings, and Season 4 the Wulin.
We also have an additional hero skin coming up for the Knights in the second half of Season 1, and stay tuned for some other surprises.
There is a ton to be excited for in Year 8.
We've been doing system improvements in the past. We're going to keep working at that. Make sure that whenever we play, it's fun, it's engaging, and it's fair for everyone. For Year 8, for our testing grounds, we're going to be tackling a couple of different things, try to help the overall health of the game. I'm always amazed to see how many players actually go and participate in the testing grounds. It's content that we are making for them to really help us understand what they feel the challenges are. And so we're really trying to shape the experience so that it keeps going forward to really push in that direction, right? Play the game, it feels good, and it feels better than ever.
To For Honor fans, I just want to say thank you very much for trusting us and being with us.
Check out Year 8, it's going to be amazing.
See you on the battlefield.
Welcome back, Warriors. We are live once again from here in sunny Montreal. I'm joined by Nolan. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, Brian. How are you?
I'm fantabulous.
Fantabulous?
Yeah, it
oh,
is.
Man.
It is our 186th Warriors Den today.
Dude, holy crap.
186.
That's a lot.
nuts. Yeah, so we've got a lot to go over today because this is a beefer. This one's going to be juicy. But first, we got some stuff dropping on the Twitch.
We do. We have Twitch drops for everybody out there. So listen, here's the thing. We got a big show today, and we don't want you to miss out on a second of that sweet, sweet content. So make sure you link your Ubisoft Connect account to your Twitch account, so that way for every 30 minutes you're with us today watching, you're going to get a scavenger crate drop. And by the end of the show, we're going to pick some lucky winners to win a grand prize of 100,000 steel or the new hero skin, which we will reveal a bit later. And you're going to love this one for sure, hands down. So link those accounts, all right? Don't miss out.
Yeah. And reclaim your rewards every 30 minutes.
Yep.
Because otherwise you don't get the next one. And it's always sad to see people who don't get them. But we've got a lot to go over in the show today. Among the many things that we will cover, we've got a new hero skin. We've got a new limited time game mode. We've got a free event pass, throwback event, and a whole bunch of other stuff. Because we've got a lot to cover, we've got all the Year 8 details coming up, and we're going to go to that real quick after this transition. So stick around. And we're back. Short transition. And in the time it took to do that transition, I was joined by Steph. How you doing?
Doing great. I'm super hyped for being here on the Warriors Den today. Thank you.
Me too. Me too. For those of you who don't know, Steph is everyone's favorite game director.
Favorite one.
Yeah.
Not too bad.
So, Year 8. What can you tell us? It starts next week, and there's a lot in it.
Super hyped to be able to talk today about Year 8. It's an incredible milestone in For Honor's history, and it wouldn't be possible with all the efforts of the team and all the combat of the players over the years. So thanks to you all very much. It's been wonderful to get to this point, and I'm super hyped to be able to talk about everything we're going to show you today.
Yeah. So let's. I think we have a roadmap to take a peek at real quick. So we got a lot of stuff coming in Year 8, Forged in War. So can you take us through the roadmap real quick?
Yes, of course. Forged in War is a year where we're going to explore and celebrate our weapons. So each of the seasons is going to take a picture of the most valuable asset in the world of For Honor, the weapons. First off, Season 1, we're going to look at it from a Knight's perspective. The Knights are all about chivalry, and we're going to see that reflected in their blade and all the content through the season. Season 2 is going to be a samurai story. Season 3 will be Vikings, and Season 4 will be about the Outlanders.
Awesome. I'm looking forward to it. I'm super excited to reveal stuff about night season today, because there's some stuff in there that players have been wanting for a while.
Should be super fun. Yeah, as you see there in this season, just behind us, we've got hero skins for the Knight. In Season 1, you'll see one in TU1 that we're going to show today. And then TU2's got one as well. That should be pretty awesome.
Super secret.
Yep, pretty cool. Season 2, we're going to have Samurai. And then, of course, the new hero in TU2 of Season 2. And then through the rest of the year, we've got more hero skins in 3 and in 4. And then finally, the second new hero.
We're just dropping
Bam, bam,
hero
bam, bam,
skins
through the
like
whole
they're
thing.
orbital strikes.
It's
We're
pretty
just
cool.
going.
Yeah. And then, yeah, exactly. The next new hero in Season 4, title update 2 of that, there'll be one body type. And what's really cool is they will also celebrate our weapons. And as Year 8 heroes, they're quite cognizant of how combat works in For Honor at this point. So they're going to be really exploring and testing you as a player in ways we haven't quite before.
That's awesome. I'm looking forward to it. So we're going to do a quick little transition real quick, and I'll be back with Stefan again, but we'll be joined by Ed to talk about some of the new features that you guys can look forward to in Year 8. So don't go anywhere. And we're back. Me and Steph are back. And Ed's here. Ed,
Yep.
It's been a minute since you've been on the den.
It definitely has been. Last time I was here was we were doing the pre-recorded ones.
Yeah.
So it's
yeah.
nice to be live again
Yeah.
for Year 8.
It was age of lockdown, I believe. Yeah. So let's just jump right into it. People are going, they're very happy. I won't say they're going cuckoo banoo-noos, but they're very happy
Some are.
to see, yeah, they are, to see the converted maps that we announced on the last den.
Yes.
So at a high level, what can you tell us about what they can expect for the converted maps?
Yeah. So no, it's great to see the reception this announcement has been getting, and I want to officialize the announcement, though most people have really figured it out at this point. But Cathedral will be the first map of our this Dominion converted map offering.
Yes.
So I know that's a fan favorite of many people. So yeah, that'll be for title update 2. So don't get mad when you don't see it next week. Yeah, please.
Yeah. So, but get happy when you see it in TU2.
Yes.
So I for one love Cathedral. It's always been one of my favorite maps.
Mhm.
It's just got good energy. The vibe checks out.
Yep.
So why Cathedral though? Because I'm sure it's
Yeah.
not just the vibes.
You're right. But no, I mean, honestly, Cathedral was an obvious choice to go with because in the past, we've experimented with this map for the past event. And, you know, we added a lot to that event with like the addition of capture points, which is obviously a very important aspect for Dominion. But, you know, that wasn't enough. You know, it wasn't just about throwing in a main lane with minions in there and, you know, calling it a day. There's a lot more that has to go into making, you know, giving the players that Dominion experience that they're expecting.
And I'm sure there were a lot of challenges because I know one thing that players may or may not think about is like, you know, parity of the map and is everything equitable? Can everyone reach everything?
Yep.
You know.
So, you know, I gotta say, that past event wasn't the most perfectly balanced one, you know? Like, you know, for a 2-3 week event, it was great. And but for Dominion, this is a permanent addition to the game that we're adding. It's not just a time-limited release. So we need to make sure that this is balanced to its fullest potential in the map. And because we're taking an existing map and the fundamental core of the map stays the same, so there's only really, we can add quite a bit, but there's only so much we can really change because, you have to know that this gives us a huge head start in prepping the map for Dominion. So we're not going to completely obliterate everything that's there and rework it from scratch. That kind of defeats the purpose, right? So trying to get that balance that you're mentioning, the run times from spawn to capture zones and all that, we had to just pull every trick in the book just to get that parity there. And that's what players would expect from a Dominion experience and not have it completely unbalanced.
Yeah, because I know some of the maps we're looking at converting, they take place away from like major areas or major points of interest within the world of Heathmore. And so taking these kind of like out of the way places like an abandoned cathedral,
right,
or a ruined cathedral, I should say, and converting that into a map, I'm sure poses a lot of challenges. So really what goes into converting maps so players can understand, like, it's a lot of work, guys.
Yeah, no, and that's an excellent point because, as you mentioned, we actually, here in the dev team, we refer to these non-Dominion maps as wasteland maps. And, you know, they were initially conceptualized to literally be wastelands. They're parts on the outskirts of Heathmore. There's no major castle structures or defenses that you would think to send your armies to protect and attack because there's nothing of value there. So in these wastelands, they're ruins from like the cataclysm that happened and all that. So there's nothing to fight over in these areas. So we had to bring that Dominion aspect of having castles and structures surrounding the areas to kind of tell that story of why are we fighting over this piece of land. And so that's something that we brought forth as well here. And yeah.
Yeah, and I know another element that's very important. It's critical to the experience of For Honor. If it's not there, why are we here? And that's the Dominion intro sequences. We don't have those for the wasteland maps.
Yeah, that's another good point because as you guys know, every Dominion map has a little intro scene. You know, some are longer than others. But even if we were going to keep this one short and sweet, we still needed to have something in place that kind of tells the story of why are we murdering each other here, you know? So, and this was some lost knowledge on the team because some of the team members that were responsible for creating these scenes have then moved on to other projects. So we had to regain that knowledge. And honestly, we've become a much stronger team now since regaining that skill set moving forward from this point on.
Yeah, and I mean, I think it goes without saying, it's been a minute since we had a new Dominion intro. So I'm excited. I'm excited to be able to see what the team has put together. I think there's some other challenges that we haven't touched on yet that I wanted to give you a chance to talk about.
Yeah. So like we mentioned, the runtime parodies, the intro sequences, and bringing. So the other challenge was also, as I mentioned, these wasteland maps weren't initially conceptualized for a grand scale battle to take place in them. In some of these maps, you can hear birds chirping, you see butterflies dancing around, and that's
none anymore.
Right? Yeah, no. So that's not something we want as part of the Dominion experience. So, as Apollyon would say, we brought war to Cathedral.
I see what you did there.
Yeah,
I see what you did.
So really, it's not just about having the capture points and the minions in there. We're really giving the Dominion experience as a whole package here. You have your attacking armies, your defensive armies, catapults flying around and arrows, and we're really, that whole war feeling. And the sound team really brought it as well because they had quite a bit to rework in terms of the sound around the map because that ambiance needs to be there. So.
Yeah, like I know when people are probably writing like suggestions in Reddit threads and stuff. They're like, "Oh, we'll just do this and take that and put this on it, and like we'll be fine with it." But the reality is, like, the team really wants to deliver a polished, well-rounded experience. Like we don't want it to feel like we just went Control C, Control V, like, and then that was it. And so I know the team put a lot of work into these conversions.
Yeah, and honestly, I want to just take a moment to shout out our tech team, our VFX team, our sound guys, our modelers and art teams. Honestly, it's a whole group effort to bring this to life, and I couldn't be prouder.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us and talking about the converted maps. But we've got more to talk about because as we talked about on the last Den, and I know not all of you were here for that one, but you're here now, we announced Legacy Pass. So, Steven, what is a Legacy Pass for those who weren't here last time?
Of course. Thanks for the intro. We are going to continue to bring battle passes here in year 8, season by season. You're going to hear all about the season 1 one later in this episode of Warriors Den. And the Legacy Pass is an opportunity for players to experience content that they've never seen if they are a new player or have seen before, but in kind of a new aspect. So Legacy Pass here, for example, in year, where were we at? It's very confusing. Year 8, season 1?
Yeah.
We're going to bring the year 4, season 1 battle pass, the Legacy Pass, back. So players will have the opportunity to experience this for maybe the first time if they're a new player. If you are a player that was here the first time, that you saw before, it's going to retain your progress. So if you made it to tier 50,
nice.
You're going to start at tier 50. If you bought the battle pass before, it's already going to be purchased for you.
What if I completed it, though?
Then there's still, of course, a new tier 101.
Yes.
And it's going to have retrofit content from that battle pass for the heroes that have launched since that battle pass.
Oh, nice.
That's
was
really
live.
cool.
Yes. So, for example, Warmonger, Aztec, Ocelotl, I'm sorry, the heroes that have launched since, their battle pass content will be in that tier 101. So there's something new for everyone to get.
Nice. So I just pick up where I left off. If I finished it before, there's still an interest in there to get it.
Exactly. And then that grind is not too bad either because there's simultaneous progression between the new pass and the legacy pass.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, no concept of like an active and a passive, nothing like that. You just complete your match, you'll get your rewards, and both passes will progress simultaneously.
2 birds, 1 stone. Easy peasy.
So something cool for everybody, and at the very least, it's a new free track for you.
Yeah. So for those of you wondering about prices, the Legacy Pass will be $9.99, same as the Battle Pass. But if you get the bundle, it's free. It's the same price. So it's $25.99 in the bundle, and that comes with you get your tiers, you get your all the stuff you guys are used to getting, as well as the 20% boost. So it's a good deal. It's a good deal. It's free real estate. One note: the battle bundle the price is not dynamic. So if you bought the year 4 season 1 pass, you have to pick up the legacy pass. So yeah, but I think that covers everything, right?
Yeah, totally.
Okay.
Look forward to it.
So at least on that note. So we've also got a FAQ for those of you who are wondering about nitty-gritty details on the legacy pass. That'll be going up on the website today. But I think we have one other thing to talk about, right? I think there's something more. We're giving more of something. We're doing what is
so
I can't remember.
It's year
what
8. It's a great time to raise the reputation level for your heroes from 70 to 80 now.
Of course, yeah.
Should be nice for everyone to show off their heroes a little bit, especially at the max. And here to really make sure everyone on the battlefield knows that you are a max
Rep
level
80.
hero, rep 80.
Yeah.
We brought a new material. Hot pink. It's called Wild Berry.
Wild berry, my favorite flavor.
You evil man! I wanted a hot pink material this whole time, and you put it behind an 80 level rep grind.
If you're dedicated, you're gonna show it off on the field eventually.
Hey, people are gonna know where my warden stands.
Drink up that wild berry.
So year 8 also means a lot of new stuff. We got 80 reps now, but we've also got new editions of For Honor coming out. So we worked on improving our offers for our players, and with new offers, as you just saw, comes new art. Let's pull up the list. We've got the Standard Edition, the Gold Edition, and the Ultimate Edition, and they're kind of more centered around hero packs and unlocking packs of heroes. Because the Ultimate Edition had been out for a long time. There were a lot of heroes that weren't included in it, so it over time it wasn't as ultimate as it used to be. So we wanted to refresh those offers for players, especially new players coming into the game, to give them a little bit more diversity and choice of what they want, and just kind of make the offers a little bit more up to date and a greater value. But, and I know that's mostly for like new players, and most of you probably own the game. I'm guessing that's why you're watching this. So, yeah, appreciate you sitting through that. But you know what will benefit everybody is starting on March 14th. You get arcade mode. You get arcade mode. You get arcade mode. Everybody gets arcade mode. Yes. So we're bringing arcade mode to the passes. That'll be on March 15th. Everybody gets it for free. We've got a huge year ahead of us. Thank you, Steph. Thank you, Ed. Yep. Don't go anywhere because we have a season trailer for you, and then we will be back with all of the details for Year 8, Season 1. Thank you. Check it out. See you on the other side.
Before the doom, when knights stood mighty and proud, there passed a sword of legend, only to the most gallant. It was meant to protect, to unite. But after the cataclysm, all was lost. In the chaos, the sword fell to me, a lone warden. I would wield it true, to aid those in need. As for the rest, the desperate few, those who would pillage and despoil, I would fight.
Welcome back, Warriors. That was an incredible trailer. It was like legit my first time seeing it too. So like I'm really excited. That's so good. I love the people who make our trailers. Like it's just it's always incredible. So it's cool. We saw a lot of really neat content there, and I think we're ready to talk about it a bit. And again, Steph, thank you for sticking around with us to dive more into that.
Of course.
It's great. And joining me on the couch as well to dig even further into these details on Year 8 Season 1, we have Andre, our game writer, and Raphael, our local historian. Hello, welcome.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, always happy to be here with you, with everybody.
Oh, well, that's so nice of you to say. Well, we're happy for you to be here as well. So, but let's dive into it. We have a lot of details in Year 8 Season 1. It's a huge season. It's absolutely packed. We're teasing a lot through these trailers and stuff, but Steph, do you want to walk us through some of the details, the nitty-gritty? What are we getting into?
Absolutely. So let's introduce to Year 8, Season 1, the Sword of Ashfield. So this is our opportunity to explore what does your weapon mean to the knights. It'll be about chivalry. It'll be about protecting the weak. These guys are going to talk all about it. More we'll talk through the show. But that's really what's in a knight's heart, protecting others.
I like it.
So let's check out what all the content means to support this.
Absolutely.
I can't wait. So title update 1, that's March 14, in just a short week from now. Of course, we're going to bring a new battle pass that's going to celebrate chivalry, the knights, all this kind of stuff. We're going to bring a new legacy pass, so it's Year 4, Season 1, complete with Tier 101.
Nice.
and all the stuff that goes with it. So that's super cool. Launch event, you got a bit of a hint of that in the trailer just before this. Last hero standing. With Chivalry, of course, we're going to use this opportunity to also bring a bit of nostalgia that also Andre is going to talk about, but really fulfill the promise that was in the initial trailers of For Honor, Knight versus Samurai versus Viking. You're going to get the chance to experience that for yourself and any other combination you like, of course. March 14, we're not done with that yet. Warden Hero Skin. You saw the Unsung Knights, and Andre's going to give you the backstory, and others going to talk about and show the skin. So look forward to the rest of the Warriors then. We've got a testing grounds with anti-gank. JC, I think, is going to give the rundown on this, as well as some balancing. We've got Hero Fest on the April 4th, 11th, and 18th. Look forward to these. And, of course, a throwback event later in the title update, which will be Raid of the Champions.
Nice. And that's just TU1, right? We got a whole other half of the season. Right?
I'm already out of breath, but we're going to do title update too. Anyway. So, one new hero skin again that will go into the Knights gang. You're going to see some new navigation animations, maybe some other stuff. So really look forward to this. I know everyone backstage is super hyped and so on. So, but that's next Warriors then to Cathedral converted map. Edgar talked all about this, and I can't wait. It'll be a great opportunity for new converted map to Dominion, a new opportunity to kill your friends and other players in a
the most chivalrous way possible.
I heard about killing butterflies too. Now I'm picturing doing that. Hide forever.
But it'll be a great new opportunity for variety for players. So I can't wait. New armor variations. These are for the Knight and the Vikings. We've got a throwback event kicking off the season, or kicking off the title update, I'm sorry, and then 3 new Hero Fests, as we like to do through the title update, and another throwback event later in the title update.
Wow. Yeah, so absolutely stacked. I know, I keep trying to count too, but I keep losing count. My math is terrible. But if I had to measure that, I'd say it's a lot of content. So I think that's a pretty reasonable metric there. So
something for everyone to enjoy. I hope.
Something for everyone, absolutely. I think that rings very true, very true. So thank you, Steph, for that. So, as we go a bit deeper then into this season, we've talked about being a bit more Knights, big throwback to our original launch trailer. Andre, do you want to share with us the lore? What is the lore behind all of this? The story behind our season here?
Let's get into it. Yes. So the inspiration for this season was the original story trailer from 2016. So the one with 3 heroes fighting over a puddle of water. That's why we're big on the nostalgic factor, as Stefan mentioned. We really wanted to go back to our roots and tell a story that felt timeless to the world of For Honor. So that's why we're set post-Cataclysm. It's a dark time. It's a chaotic time where our heroes are fighting for resources. So this is really vintage For Honor that we're talking about.
Nice.
And in the immediate struggle to survive, you have many heroes that have also kind of forgotten their values because they're really just trying to survive themselves right now. One big exception is our hero skin, so the Unsung Knight. She is a lone warden that still fights to protect the weak, still fights to protect the good. And others think that, this is kind of a crazy, controversial thing to do again, because, again, this is like a survival of the fittest time right now. Many people are just fighting for themselves. And the reason that she's fighting selflessly is because she wields a very special sword. This sword really embodies the values of chivalry because it traces back to an empire of knights that were known for their chivalry. They were known for protecting the weak. They even passed this sword down through a succession of knights to only the most gallant, as you heard in the trailer there. And this line has continued unbroken all the way to our hero skin now, but that line is just holding on by a thread post-Cataclysm. And there's even a legend associated with the sword that one day would come to be wielded in a dark time to unite the common people under one banner once more. If you haven't figured it out, this is our first legendary weapon of year 8, and it's called Valor's Edge.
Nice. Super cool. So we're in the darkest time right now?
I don't know if we'll call it the darkest time. Yeah.
To be fair, we've had a lot of...
Post-Cataclysm is always pretty dark, yeah.
It's kind of a whole sequence of just dark millennias there, which is
Yeah, it's just the whole thing is pretty dark. Yeah.
yeah, fair enough. So yeah, I mean, what better time than right now for this sword to show back up? And again, you talked about this the hero skin a bit. You started hinting at it. Do you want to go into a bit more detail on the skin itself?
Yeah, so this is a skin that's long been requested by the community, and with good reason. It is our knight from that story trailer, from that original 2016 trailer, fighting a Viking, fighting a samurai. So we figured this is a perfect hero for a nostalgia season because it's a hero that we're all familiar with, our fans know her, but we've never heard her story until now. So that's why she's called the Unsung Knight. And unlike the relic heroes who were mythologized and then forgotten and rediscovered again, nobody knows her story whatsoever. There's no record of it whatsoever. So she really saves Ashfeld, but anonymously. So she's not unlike many of those unknown warriors that have really shaped the course of human history, maybe, saved their nations in the shadows. Nobody ever heard about them. They never became famous for it. And if you want to know more about the Unsung Knight and where did she get her sword, after all, if they're all gone, these knights, where did she get it? Our short story answers that. So the Squire is what it's called. All 3 parts will be available at the launch of the season, March 14th. You'll get your answers there, but I will say you won't get all your answers this season. We do retain quite a bit of mystery, such as the nature of this empire, how it fits into the wider For Honor lore, and so there's a lot of clues there for my lore junkies to ferret out. And
That's me.
yeah, like you,
like
yeah.
me. Yeah.
And yeah, invite you to check it out, March 14th.
Cool. That's awesome. Can't wait to read it. Thank you so much for those extra details again. And the skin is just looking absolutely incredible too. I remember the first time we had talked about it like internally about wanting to do this and realize it. There's a lot of questions about it, but seeing it for the first time like in game and like getting to play as this Unsung Knight was, it just looks incredible.
It's wicked.
So
Yeah.
really excited for that. And again, you will all at home get a chance to play the Unsung Knight next week, March 14th. It'll be available to all players for steel, 25k steel. So keep an eye out for that. So that's that's a lot of the details of the season, setting up the story and the narrative. So thank you on that. But we have a bit more, right? And a bit more map realization, things that kind of went into having this nostalgic feel in the maps. Raph, as our historian, would you help us understand the history of how this map realization came about?
Yes, the lore of the game, let's say, and
Yeah,
not really history in that case.
It's our history.
Yes, it's the most important history, I would say.
I think so, yeah.
So absolutely, you're right. We did a lot of map realization for this TU, for this title update. So to go with the game event, the time-limited game event that we'll be talking about a bit later, the art and the event teams went together to manage to create this map realization from a map that is called Canyon. And from there, they took inspiration from the original trailer, the 2016 trailer, and they put together this new map realization to put on top of Canyon. This, you will see, is quite a lot of work. It's quite a lot of new content because the changes are quite dramatic, quite remarkable. I almost cannot recognize the old Canyon map actually under all of that map realization. This means level design, because you have to make the arena large enough but not too large to make sure that you can get in and all of that. It's also a lot of level art because when we do map realization, we're trying to tell a story, to tell narrative, to convey emotions through visual means. And in this TU, of course, our objective, the narrative we're trying to tell you is one of nostalgia. Nostalgia is a feeling of loss, a feeling something was great, but it is not there anymore. It is really at the art of For Honor, of course. We've been telling a bit of that in our post-apocalyptic world for 8 years now. So yeah, you will see wherever you look on the map, you will see this story being told to you. You have the aqueduct, marvel of the ancient world, that would bring in fresh water on kilometers, but now the marvel of the ancient world has crumbled, and now you have the descendants of the people who built that. Now they are fighting over a puddle of muddied water. That's all that's left of the fresh water that their ancestors would bring. They are literally fighting for the scraps of the old world. You have ruins that are full of grass, and the only thing that's there anymore is the phantoms of the past. You have a small cove that might have been a bustling port, but now the only thing that's left of the armadas of yesterday are a shell of a boat, and there isn't even any water in the port, because, well, it's only a parched dry land. So yeah, everywhere you look, you will see this nostalgia, and really I cannot commend enough our colleagues from the event team especially, because this is wonderful.
Yeah. Well, amazing, like extremely well put. Thank you so much. It's always great to listen to you express that and tell that. It's such a timeless story, as you were saying. So really cool stuff. And to kind of continue on with that nostalgia vibe too. Some of you I saw in the chat, you're already kind of picking this out, enjoying some of the music you're listening to. Well, we thought it would be great to also do some amazing like throwbacks to when the game launched. And so for this season, for this title update, we're going to bring back the original menu a bit too, so you get that sense on what some of the original menu was like. If you missed that, the original face-off as well. So again, nice throwback to when we first launched the war map as well, and classic minions too. So from the launch of the game, so we're embracing all of that nostalgia. And when we talked about that music, you might have picked it up, but we did do a re-recording inspired by the original music track, which, if I'm right, I think most people consider to be like the best For Honor music that we've had. So if you liked that, you're gonna love this, and it sounds incredible. So keep an eye out for that. That'll all be live for that 3-week event coming up when we launch on March 14th. So very cool. So thank you all very much. Thanks for sharing the details, the deep lore, the amazing like history going on, and all this realization, and just this amazing throwback to these three classic peeps right here. So much appreciated. And if you want to learn some more about that game mode event that we're teasing in the other trailer and what that map is going to take place, stick around. You're not going to want to miss that. So we'll be right back. Thanks again, guys.
For having us.
Right, bye. Welcome back, Warriors! We're so excited to have you with us today because now we finally get to talk more in depth about this brand new game mode coming up. And who better to help me with that than our Lord and Savior, JC, is back. Welcome, JC. Yay.
Thank you. I want to say thank you to all my fans in chat. I've been reading the chat beforehand. I love it. It's great.
You love JC. We love JC. A lot of love for JC. We love it. It's amazing. Yeah, I especially like some of the Reddit memes too with the
oh yeah, that was awesome.
That was
so
good.
Really awesome.
Yeah, I'm loving it. So, and also joining us on the couch, Catherine as well from our UI team. Welcome, Catherine.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, yeah. Thank you for being here. You know, again, we have a lot to talk about with this this new limited time game mode event. It's very exciting. So let's just dive into these details.
Yeah.
GC, do you want to kick things off?
All right. So it's already been kind of spoiled, but it's okay.
It's okay.
So this new mode is called Last Hero Standing, right? So as you've been seeing a little bit in the trailers and stuff, people have been talking about it. It is a 1v1v1 game mode, right? It's a free-for-all. It's a big callback to what we had in the trailer for at launch. You know, where you had that warden, that Kinsey, that raider fighting over resources. So it's a big callback to this. We really wanted to keep that feeling of, there's that war going on between those three heroes. You can pick anybody you want, of course. It doesn't have to be that, but it's still super cool. We had a ton of fun doing this. While we were testing on the floor, it was amazing. It's gonna be available from March 14th to April 4th, if I can read the notes right, so that's good. And so the rules of the games are pretty simple, right? It's 3 players, round-based, kind of like what we have in duels, for example. The first player to win 3 rounds wins the match. And then it's literally, the first one to win wins. And that's good, right? So you have to beat the other 2 players. Very, very important parts as well. It is solo queue only and only in matchmaking. We're trying to make this as easily accessible as possible. I know some players want some specific things with this. So play it as much as you want. It should be super cool. And I know I remember when we were playing it on the floor and stuff, it's super interesting, right? Because it really feels different. It's familiar, but it's different. Having that third player that you fight against makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
I remember we were talking about it a little bit earlier, but we were playing this with Andrew. That you've seen, that people know who Andrew is at this point, but
sneaky
Andrew
guy.
is super sneaky, hiding in a corner, trying to do stuff, tries to lull you into a false sense of security. Yeah, let's go gank this person, and turns around and kills you. Always super fun. But honestly, it's a lot of fun. It's a very, very interesting game mode. We had a blast playing it, making it, everything. So I'm super excited. I can't wait for people to play it.
Yeah, absolutely. Same here. It was a ton of fun, really exciting. And again, next week, everybody at home, you're going to get a chance to play it. It'll be live for 3 weeks. But that's the high level of the mode. But there was honestly a lot of work went into just making this a reality. And Catherine, I know a lot of that was on your side too. Which is, can you help walk us through what went into bringing this to life?
Yeah, why is the UI girl here to talk about the mode? Is basically
I didn't want to say that, but I mean.
Yeah, there's a lot of technical implications into adding a third player, which is essentially adding a third team, if I want to say it, For Honor. And just if you think about our menus will bring forward what's behind, so our entire menu was always attackers versus defenders, team 1 versus team 2. So when the game design team were like, hey, you remember that trailer we wanted in a game mode and we had wanted a third person, it's cool, breaking every UI screen. Let's go, bro. So that meant a lot of work, but also we tried to balance it out in a way that we didn't have to refactor every menu screen or anything because we wanted it to feel familiar. Especially for a time game mode event, you don't want to go into a menu and figure out where do I go to pick my hero. We wanted to keep it very clean, but have this idea of the triangle. The fact that you don't have 2 opponents against you, you have 2 opponents that also face each other. So we think these subtle changes that we made for the hero pick, the lobby, and also the face-off, even the face-off.
Yeah.
We didn't want to do a custom face-off because we were bringing back the nostalgia of the look and feel. So we wanted to just try and make it feel like that triangle. We think we got it right.
Yeah. It really feels like you're looking at this, right? And they're not teamed up together at all. So you really get that feeling of I'm playing against 2 other people that are also fighting each other. That's great.
Exactly. But also, adding a third team means changes to our team identification system, which is dynamic because I don't know if players have noticed, but yourself, you're always blue, and the opponents are always orange. So now we needed to add a third opponent that's going to be purple, and that third opponent needs to always be purple. So it's a very dynamic thing. We needed to add a new icon because, like, attackers, defenders, they have icons, things like that. And I think it works out well. Where you'll see a lot of the major change is in the HUD, the heads-up display. So that little widget at the top of the screen that we internally call the team versus had to be redesigned to accommodate this third person that's going to come and possibly gank you and possibly feed revenge. Who knows?
One or the other.
Yeah. And also that design, we wanted to focus really to make it clear. The round tracking needed to be clearer. So this is very important because it's the first to three that wins. And like we explained, there's fleeting alliances and ganking.
Trust no one.
Trust no one.
So
not even yourself.
Yeah.
That's the most important part.
So the changes to that and the subtle changes to the scoreboard are all about tracking your rounds so that you can easily know if you're winning or losing. And then my favorite part is something that we have in Brawl that we don't have in Duels is that we have the podium at the end where you win the actual puddle, like the trailer. And that's my favorite part.
Somebody fought real hard to have a puddle there. I wouldn't say who, but it's happened.
There were many meetings about that.
Yeah.
More than you might assume we'd have. There's a lot of discussions about the puddle, but
Yeah,
but I'm glad it's there.
Yeah, so a big thank you to my colleagues from Gameplay, from Online, our UI programmer, Michel, that worked with me on all of this. It was a big labor of love, and I'm happy how it turned out. I think we found a great balance of getting that nostalgia and building new things where we needed new things.
Yeah, that's great. And I really want to make sure, like, we thank the whole team, everybody that's worked super hard on this, especially you. This would not have been possible specifically without you, so really thank you very much. A ton of people worked on it, and like from gameplay, from code, from like UI, like you, like a lot of like moving pieces had to be kind of put together for this to properly work. It might sound simple on paper. Yeah, okay, just had a third team, or hey, it's a Guardian, whatever, but it's not that simple. So there's a lot of complexities behind it, and I'm super excited. And I want to see people. I'm going to look at our data. I want to see people playing this all day, every day. I want to see it. It's amazing. It's super fun. I think, because one of the things people might not know is that, like, a lot of the times we play stuff the entire floor, the entire dev team, right? And from my memory, I've been here for 6.5 years-ish. This is the loudest I've heard the floor in a long time. When we were playing this, everybody was hyped. Everybody was screaming. It was
screaming
so
at
much
each other across the
floor.
Like,
it was
you
amazing,
ganked
honestly.
me! Like, yes, I did!
It's so much fun. Like, alliances, people are getting mad at each other, all sorts of good stuff. It was a lot of fun. So I'm really hoping that everybody plays it quite a bit, enjoy it, have fun, and give us feedback too. Who knows?
Please.
Maybe, there's things that can be better, things that can be worse. I don't know. So let's see how it works.
We want them. But yeah, no, it's great though. And again, thank you. And again, like it feels good. So Catherine, thank you to you and your team for everything on that. And so look forward to that. Again, limited time game mode event from March 14th through April 4th. On top of that too, if you're playing along that time, we're going to have a free event pass also available. So again, it's completely free. It's going to line up nicely with the new Battle Pass, the new Legacy Pass, or the returning one there. So you're going to get a chance to unlock some cool new outfits, new mood effects there. We have a new battle outfit, Ancient Unity. So that's looking pretty slick right there. We also have a new ornament, Golden Unity. So a lot of Unity here, which is great. And a new mood effect, Knights United. So a big, callback to the Knights season going on here. So it's okay. We'll let Shigoki have that one. And we have also some new weapon sets too in honor of this event going on. So you'll be able to loot these as well. And we're just doing a little sneak peek here, but you'll see more on these weapon sets in a little bit after the transition here. So yeah, I think that covers about it for this segment here. So there it is, folks. Look forward to that next week. It's going to be great. JC, thank you so much for being here to talk about that. Catherine, thanks to you as well. Again, it's going to be so much fun. Really looking forward to it next week. So good stuff. So everybody at home, stick around because we're going to be back to talk more about some upcoming cosmetics for this season.
After we go fight all three of us together.
The three of us, yes. That's going to... We got it.
All right.
All right, cool. We'll be right back.
And we're back. I'm back. Nolan's back. We're all back. You guys are back. Year 8, Season 1, we're going to talk some cosmetics. We're going to be talking about everything that makes you beautiful, baby.
Inside and
So, of course, we got a new Battle Pass for this upcoming season, as well as the Legacy Pass with some retrofitted items. So let's go over the Battle Pass, which is available starting on March 14th. So we've got, we've talked a lot about seasonal narrative so far in the show. So you'll see that represented here in the offerings for the Battle Pass. That kind of struggle over resources, ruined world, as well as like the knights struggle for their values of chivalry and honor, and defending the weak and all of that. Right before they led you.
Mm-hmm. It's an honorable legend.
Yeah, all those callbacks to the original trailer of the 3 warriors fighting over scraps from the table. So some of the items from the Year 8 Season 1 Battle Pass we've got 2 battle outfits. Do we have assets for these? Here we go. We've got an ornament, archaic rivalry, as well as mood effect, the archaic Kensei.
Oh, what's going on here? This one.
This is I do want to call out, these do actually match your color palette.
Oh, look at that.
I know.
All right.
I know there was a thing in the last show where I said the wrong thing. That was my bad. My bad. I was thinking about this, and so we were like, I was like, yeah. No, it's color palette. It's color palette.
Yeah, it's fine.
But no, this one actually, it's color palette. Color palette. Promise.
You can quote him on it. Yeah.
Promise. If I'm wrong, I'll do something embarrassing. That's a mood effect that matches the color swatch. We've got an execution field of chaos here. We've also got a signature coming up, on my honor. There's a lot of stuff in this battle pass. This is a big old list.
It's a pretty big
old list. But that's not all. Wait, there's more.
Yeah.
We're gonna fix it with flex tape. We got a weapon sneak peek here to show you. We've got the weapons, the archaic Hrauster for the Varangian, and the other sneak peek here is the Ocelot and their archaic Valorous weapons. So it's nice to see the Tepostopoli and the Makwahuit there, all chromed out. Well, not chromed, but all steeled out. But moving on to the first. Oh, what's up?
I was just saying, you think I'm just gonna ignore the fact you're flexing your native Noatul?
Bro, I didn't spend a week everywhere I went, sitting in the back of Ubers, just being like Makwahuit, to not flex it.
Fair enough.
I put in the work. I earned it. Moving on, first ever Legacy Pass that we'll have. I just love this key art, but the Year 4 Season 1 Legacy Pass will be available at the start of Year 8 Season 1, which again, if you haven't memorized it by now, it's March 14th. March 14th. But what's in Legacy Pass, Nolan?
Yeah. So we've mentioned it a few times, but just to kind of reiterate quickly, this is just the idea that we're bringing back some of the original battle passes. They're going to be available kind of season per season. So Year 8 Season 1 is going to match with Year 4 Season 1, and then in subsequent seasons we're going to kind of follow that cadence as well. So it's just the goal to again be able to bring some of this amazing content that we had created back on these battle passes, and make sure that all the new heroes can have that content as well. So it's again the progress is simultaneous. If you already had that battle pass in the past, you made progress on it, you don't lose anything. You just keep going from where you left off. And if you even finished it, there's a Tier 101 that's going to have all the retrofit content for every hero that's been released since. So it's a lot. But yeah, so that's the big thing on this too, is we want to make sure that none of the new heroes are left out of this, so the retrofits are made for the new heroes as well.
I'm looking forward to that. There's been some content I've needed on my Warmonger.
Yes.
So that'll be going on there. I think we have a Legacy Pass retrofit video.
Yeah.
Or is that what was just playing? Okay, they nailed it. Max was on it. I was in my own little space there, which is most of the time. It's me most of the time.
Well, here it is again.
But yeah, we got a bunch of other stuff coming. We got a battle outfit, the Herald of Wyverndale, as you can see here on the lovely Warmonger, as well as the mood effect that comes with that here on everyone's favorite Magi.
Dragons.
Yeah. Favorite of one, right? As Steph said. So we've also got returning the Daneslef Execution, and this will also go to the Outlanders as well. And then we've got a bunch of signatures coming at you. The first of which is Lethay's Fate.
Yep.
So you can get your sig on, turn into some stone there. So yeah, we've also got the Dan's Main, I think is how you say that. So that'll be great. And then Otohime's Tail, shown here, as well as the Demiduron's Bloodstone, which you can see Afira showing off there. So we want to put that little bit of red on there for the Outlanders, so you know it's not the same as everybody else. As well as here you can see Medjai doing the Demiduron's Bloodstone, and Ocelot as well.
Yeah, and this was actually something that was really important for us too. Is when we released the very first Battle Pass, if you remember, these signatures were unique for every hero at the time. So we actually wanted to go back through and again do that for the heroes that have released since then. So that's why you see all those like really cool new assets there.
Look forward to it. We've also got a little sneaky peeky here of some of the weapons. We've got Griffin showing off the Wyverndale leader stuff there. But that's not all. We got more coming. No, I mean in the show.
I'm just like, how many more cosmetics do we have? No.
You see, Nolan, I'm trying to wind the segment down.
Oh,
so
I
we
see.
can get to the next one.
That makes sense.
It's patch notes with our Lord and Savior.
It is true.
Yeah,
it is true.
We're about to go to church for honor. So stay here for the next segment. We'll talk patch notes with JC. But first, take a look at the complete Battle Pass weapons. They're pretty. They're gorgeous. Max, take the camera off me, please.
Welcome back, Warriors. That was a really cool weapon segment. I love those weapons.
They look so good.
Yeah, I love the MacWeetle. Yeah, that's right, Brian.
I'm not even trying to pronounce that. It doesn't work.
I practice too, though.
Yeah, that's good.
Like, not the only one who practiced, Brian. Okay. But yeah, JC, welcome back. Thanks for coming back.
I'm happy to be back.
Well, good, because we have some patch notes to talk about today, right?
So there's a couple of things we're gonna go first, right? So we gotta have a word on what we're gonna be doing in the patch notes. So we have Peacekeeper and Magi reintegration.
Okay.
Highlander, unfortunately, did not make it in this time. It is not for lack of want. It is complex hero to work on. And so one of the things I want to make sure is, clear for everybody, because I know it is for us, but whenever we do a testing ground, so the work involved in creating a testing ground is massive. It's a lot of work. You know it quite well.
I'm aware.
And so once we do actually go into testing grounds, when we come back, we have to make a lot of decisions. What do we keep? What do we, if there's things we keep or we get rid of, and then we have to reintegrate the data, right? So it sounds like it might just be, hey, yeah, it's a click and it's done, but it really isn't a click. So we're able to get Peacekeeper and Magi. Great, in time, that's good. But we have to keep in mind that we have to redo bots, we have to redo tactics, a bunch of different things. And so because of that, we want to take a little bit more time with Highlander, make sure everything was great, going in great functioning order. So Highlander will be coming in Title Update 2 for Year 8 Season 1.
Cool.
So in the meantime, you can have Peacekeeper and Magi. Great stuff. Highlander next to you. And the other thing I want to mention, because if people are wondering, did you know this is live? I think we're live, right?
We're live, yeah.
Right? So because I've been seeing people think we're recorded and stuff. So let me prove to you that this is live.
Uh-oh.
A lot of people have been seeing some things in a trailer about a certain move that Warden has been doing in that trailer.
Oh.
It's a little bit of an Easter egg for things that are coming in the
you
near future. Not this to you, so don't freak out about it
Manage
just
expectations,
yet.
yeah.
But it is coming, so it's going to be a really good thing.
Okay.
So let's get started with Peacekeeper and Magi, right?
Nice.
So first up, Peacekeeper. So one new change that we actually done from the testing grounds is we've sped up dagger cancel. It used to be at 400 ms, and now it's 366. So it doesn't seem like much, but in terms of reactability, it is way more difficult to react with. That one little single frame there, plus the fact that we've also adjusted the parry window for it to be 166 ms instead of 200. So normally the parry window is it starts at 300 ms before the attack lands, and it ends 100 ms. Now it starts at the same time, but it ends at one frame earlier. So with those two little frames there, should make dagger cancel a lot harder to parry, a lot harder to kind of deal with and react to. So that's kind of the big change that we've done here. But you'll also notice in this list, because I'm sure you've read it, people are reading it already because they're getting ahead of me, which is fine. The bash that we had added for Peacekeeper in the testing grounds, we are not keeping it. And so the initial intent for that was that we wanted to make sure that Peacekeeper had an option to really initiate her bleeds from external, but not necessarily to have a 1v1 tool specifically for this, because dagger cancel worked mostly against most players. At this speed, it should work against everybody. You just have to throw sides and you kind of have a mix-up for top there. So in 1v1s, it works. So we didn't want to give her an extra bash on top of this and make the usefulness of dagger cancel just lower, right? So we want to make sure that she still keeps that uniqueness with dagger cancel, keeping those options. She's a hero without any bashes, which is something that's quite unique in For Honor. We have very few heroes that don't have bashes. So we decided not to keep her front dodge bash, and then see where the cards are going to fall with these changes, see how things go. We still have a whole year ahead of us.
That's right.
Many more things may be coming, so we'll see where that goes. So like I said, dagger cancel has been sped up. The parry window has been lowered as well a little bit. And then we have the rest of the changes. So riposting stab, which is the deflect attack. You now do it with the light attack button instead of the heavy. Basically, whenever she bleeds somebody, which this is an attack that bleeds, she uses her dagger. Daggers are always on the light button. Makes sense to be on the light button. I know some people, at least one, super psyched about this. We've met him a couple, couple months ago, so that's good. So really, really good. Zone attack, first hit now costs 20 stamina, down from 40. The second hit is unchanged, but at least now you have nice stamina economy there. You can throw those zone attacks a little bit more often. So that's great. Deep gouge and then stabs after guard breaks no longer require strict timing to perform. So there's good and bad to this, right? So
Yeah.
the good part is that it's easy to just mash and it'll come out every single time. That's great. But specifically for the ones after guard break, if you mash, it makes the stab into guard break much harder to do. Kind of like what we have with Sickle Rain on Shinobi, where you line the Sickle Rain, you do 2 stabs, and you backflip, and you go into stuff to get different advantage. So it's kind of like the same for this, right? Where it's easier if you want to mash it, but if you want a guard break throw, then you have to really like time your hits still properly. So it's a buff, definitely, because it makes it easier. It's not a skill that we're like, oh yeah, like having super strict timing is really important. We have it on parries, on a bunch of things. It's not really necessary here. So by making this, we want to make it more accessible, easier for players to kind of get the grips on, but still have that little bit of a skill advantage of, I know I just need to do 2 hits. I can't just buffer them. You have to make sure they're like timed properly at least, so that you can get those good follow-ups, those good punishes, but it's not super hard to do for a lot of players. And then finally, the side openers and finisher heavies, we've adjusted their weapon trajectory. So they match the weapon a little bit more, and they also go a little bit further out than the weapon, just to make sure that she has an easier time hitting people externally. So if you're playing Peacekeeper, like on live right now, and you're trying to throw those side heavies, it's very hard, bordering on impossible, to hit people to the side of you. It's very, very difficult. So with this change, you're able to hit them a little bit more reliably, lets people get off of you a little bit easier. Careful if there's a engine nearby. But still, like, it really helps the hero in those like outnumbered situations. It's not a massive, massive buff, but it's enough to be noticeable and to make sense there.
Nice.
And then we have Magi. So Magi, if you've played the testing grounds, there's one change here that you love. That I don't think I've seen anyone not love it. So that's great. It is Magi's new attack, which is Nomad Swing, right? So you do it by pressing zone attack after any non-finisher attack. And so when you do it, it's a 500 MS move. It's a zone attack, hits everybody around you, costs 12 stamina, deals 12 damage, but more importantly, switches your current weapon mode while keeping you in your chains.
Yeah.
So you can be, for example, in staff mode, do light, zone, into another light, and then you're going to do when you get into axe mode, you're going to do the light attack, the light chain in axe mode.
Yeah.
It counts as a heavy, like Magi's other zone attacks. So if you do the same, you do like light heavy into heavy finisher, for example, if you go from staff to axe, then you're going to do that unblockable finisher afterwards. So it's really a big thing of giving that flexibility to be able to switch modes while you're attacking constantly. It feels really good. It's very useful in situations where because we designed Magi in a way that we really want to have like staff mode is the group fight mode and axe mode is really the 1v1 mode. But then there's a lot of times where you're in a 1v1 and then one of their allies comes around. You're like, oh. And then to go from axe to staff, you had to stop, do backward guard break, to switch modes, to do that sort of stuff. So with this, at least, you're not forced back to neutral to get into the mode you want to be.
Right.
So insane if you manage to kill one opponent in staff mode and then you want to go into axe, you can do it. Great, works really, really well. It's amazing.
Nice.
We've also done some slight nerfs to staff mode. So the light, chained, and finisher attacks in staff mode no longer have uninterruptible properties. So we kind of remove the armor on these to make sure that if you're in a big group fight, if like you fight, there's a Magi in front of you and there's like 3 of you around and he's attacking other players, we want to be able to have that peel option on this hero, right? Yeah, he can still throw lights and make sure like he kind of covers specific sides, but he can't cover every single side every single time. And having those attacks no longer having armor means that he's easier to peel. We know that in staff mode, Magi is very strong. And so by doing this, we also want to like bring a little layer of, you got to be smart and you got to know, what am I going to do? If you need that extra safety, you can throw a second heavy after your heavy, and you're still going to keep your armor because the heavy finishers still have it. It's literally only the lights that have lost it. So it's a question of, what do I sacrifice to keep my momentum going? And it's a theme that we're also putting towards with the last change, which is for axe mode changes. So the light finishers are now undodgeable, and they also have a bit more forward movement. And so we really needed to have like a way to have undodgeable in Magi's axe mode kit, because there's situations where you could land a bash, get a guaranteed chain light, and then any option Magi had there, whether it was bash, whether it was light, whether it was heavy, was dodgeable on the exact same timing. And so that gave us 2 options, right? We can either do light attack that light finishers that are undodgeable, or heavy finisher or heavy chain rather that are undodgeable.
Right.
And we gave it to light specifically because we want to have Magi still have that intent of what do I sacrifice for better offense, for safer offense. We've been trying to not have as many undodgeable lights, specifically undodgeable with that blue trail there, for a while, because depending on what your skill level is, they're either undodgeable anyway or unblockable anyway because you're having a hard time blocking them, which is totally understandable. Not everybody has reaction times of like the pro players, especially not me. But at the same time, having that there specifically for this hero means that if you want to have that undodgeable, if you want to go there, you have to sacrifice a little bit of momentum. When that light finisher lands, because it'll mostly land if people are trying to dodge too much, your frame disadvantage, you need to reopen up your opponent properly. You need to get that stuff going. So it's important here for us to have that kind of, there's drawbacks, there's thought behind what everything you do, right? We want to make we want to push that skill for players of, I have to read my opponent, I have to make decisions, and decisions are my own to make. So it kind of goes into that as well a little bit. Most likely, because they're not undodgeable, players are going to sit still a little bit more, which means that your heavies are probably going to land, and your heavy feint to Garbage going to land a little bit better. Your bash is also going to land a little bit better because it's very hard to react to. So there's the whole system kind of is built around the fact that, you as a Magi have to make smart decisions. You're forcing your opponents to make reads, which is great. But at the same time, it's not just brainless, having undodgeable heavy constantly into a bash, into other things. So we're really trying to build this around so that you have to have, it's built on smart play on the Magi's part.
Nice.
Yeah. So I think, this is it for patch notes.
Okay.
I know, I spoke a little bit about Easter eggs for TU2.
Well, Easter eggs.
We have a lot of stuff coming into.
There's a lot
I'm
coming.
super excited about that. So that's great for us.
Very cool. Well, thank you so much, JC, for going through that. I'm looking forward to having the reworked PK and Magi next week. So very excited for that. I love both those characters too, and I'm really looking forward to the upcoming TU2 changes as well, which we'll talk about in the coming few more weeks in the next Warriors Den, I'm sure. So thanks for that, and we're going to talk about testing grounds next, I think. Yes. So. Don't go anywhere. Stick around. We're going to have a brief transition, and then we'll dive into testing grounds. What's up, Warriors? Welcome back. That was, I think we have a record for fastest transition there.
I can't believe I'm still here.
I know. I'm so happy you stuck around.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy to be here too. So
I know, just funny, swapping PowerPoints in the background, but didn't want that to be awkward or anything. So let's talk about testing grounds now.
Yes.
So we have a pretty big one planned for this season.
Yes.
So
we're gonna be testing some changes regarding anti-ganking. So first of all, I want to make sure that it's clear for everyone what a gank is, because it might not be super obvious. It's a question I see asked really often. Like if I go browse Reddit because I'm nuts, I go look at it and then people go, so what's a gank? What is that? Right? So a gank is basically, we can define it as it's a coordinated attempt by 2 or more players to deal a lot of unescapable damage on a single opponent, right? So basically, it could be like you and me tag teaming and going, I'm going to do something on Brian so that he gets hit or something happens, forces a reaction. You hit him back, and then while he's still stuck in a hit stun or whatever is happening there, I can hit him back, and we keep going back and forth until he's basically dead, right? And so we don't like Brian to be dead. So we're trying to do things where we can adjust this a little bit. So it's a bit tricky. And I want to make sure that that's super clear. So then let's talk about what the hit stun rules are in general in For Honor to give a nice context to what's happening, right? So normally in For Honor, when you're hit, you enter what we call a first hit stun state, right? So I have Warden, I hit you, you go into what's called, that's it, the hit stun state. While you are in that hit stun state, that applies to everybody, by the way, not just you, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Good.
So while you're in that state, any damage you take from players other than me is going to get reduced by 25%.
Yeah.
Right. If I do combo hits like with a Rochi or with Warden or whatever, you still take the full damage from me. That's great. But from any other source, it's reduced by 25%.
Gotcha.
In addition to this, if you are hit by another source while you are in that state, you enter what we call the second hit stun state. And while you're in that second hit stun, you take 75% less damage from everyone, including me, even though I initiated the first attack.
Yeah.
And you also gain uninterruptible and can't be pinned, right? It's a combination of defensive abilities that players call super armor. We're in a state where you're borderline invulnerable, right? You take a lot less damage. You can't get pinned. None of these things happen. Nothing even flinches you, right? You just stand still. Every time you get hit, there's that white flash that appears on you to kind of signify that the kind of armor is on. And what's important to know as well is that while you're in this state, and while you're in any state really, damage buffs and debuffs, so damage reduction there and stuff, do not affect revenge gain. So even if you take 75% less damage, you still take full revenge for these attacks. Yeah. So if you're going to take an attack that deals 100 and you're in that state, you're going to take 25 damage, but you're going to gain 100 revenge.
Gotcha.
Right? So that's kind of like, that's the gist of it. That's how it works. Okay. However, there's a tiny bit of an issue in that there's something that players call hit stun reset. And the problem is that attacks that pin can pin an opponent that is in first hit stun, and that keeps the opponent in first hit stun. They do not go back into a second hit stun. They don't get the damage reduction in the vast majority of cases. And so that ends up creating a lot of these situations where I'm able to hit you with something. Like, let's say I'm a Warden, right? And then Brian's there, because Brian's sitting there. So I'm hitting you with an attack, and then Brian hits you with, I don't know, like Jun's front dodge bash, right? Yeah. That is a move that pins. So because of this, he hits you with that move, you get pinned, you play a little special animation, but you stay in first hit stun, and on top of that, you don't gain the damage reduction. So I get another free hit on you, and then things can kind of devolve from there in a lot of crazy situations.
Gotcha.
So what we're aiming to do with this change, with this testing grounds, is fixing this so that any moves that pin now properly apply second hit stun, the damage reduction from every other source, when it hits in first hit stun. If you hit in the first hit stun, if you do the normal stuff, it doesn't really change. But if you hit somebody in a situation where normally you would be put in second hit stun, the pinning moves also will put you in second hit stun. There's a couple other things that are in there that are like inconsequential, but that kind of play a little bit in this. So the important part here is we're normalizing these reactions to make sure that you are able to gain your defense. And so while you're in that second hit stun state, you gain, like I said, you gain full revenge. You take a lot less damage. You tend to be able to dodge earlier, block earlier. You can parry. You can do a lot of different things while you're in those states. So it makes it a lot easier to avoid those ganks and to defend against them.
Gotcha.
Now, the important part here is that this applies while you are in that hit stun state. But when you exit that hit stun, you are kind of vulnerable for 100 MS every single time. Because when you switch your guard to block, then that takes 100 MS, right? So if you take an attack that's in a different stance that you wouldn't be able to block, or an unblockable or a bash or whatever, you still can't defend against it. So that means that there's still a little bit of a window, and after you get hit by any of these attacks that kind of cause that hit stun, where you still can't evade. And that is kind of on purpose. And we wanted to keep that in so that you can still gank. It's not full anti-gank, it can't ever happen again. It's, if you want to gank people, you have to be a lot more coordinated. You have to be really precise, hit at very, very specific timings. So this gives a lot more opportunities for those ganks to fail. It's a little bit like if you're playing like, a fighting game and you drop a combo. This is kind of like what ends up happening, right? Gotcha. It's dropping those combinations of attacks so that he got out of my gank, he got out of this or that situation. So you still do need to kind of like be able to dodge and react and do stuff, but that those ganking scenarios can still happen. They're much more difficult to do. And so we're addressing the main issue, so we want to make them a lot harder to pull off.
Gotcha.
So as we go then, we have a few heroes that this is applying to. We are also using a new tech, which is kind of cool. Because when you go into those testing grounds, you can only pick the heroes listed here. So Warden, Conqueror, I'm blanking on his great Shigoki. Yeah, that's me apparently, so that's good. Yorm, Hito, Shinobi, JJ, Zanhu, Pirate, and Ocelotl. I think I got that right.
Yeah, Brian.
And so
say Ocelotl.
Right, that's it. I don't know. So these heroes specifically have these are the only heroes we've applied this to for now. When this does go live, if it goes live, it's going to be applied to the entire cast. Don't worry about it. But right now, because this is a lot of work, because we have to go into every single one of their moves that pin and add data to them to make sure that it respects those rules. We wanted to make sure that we could try it out on a variety of heroes that have a variety of different things that can happen. So these are the heroes that is applying to. Warden, notably, doesn't have any moves that pin.
Right.
But we wanted to keep him because pretty much everybody has Warden. So if you want to play in the testing grounds, you can still play with Warden.
He's your baseline.
Yeah, and he can still participate in ganks, right? He has like those big unblockables and stuff, so it still kind of works. So as we go here, so here's the effective move. So Warden has no moves that are affected by this whatsoever. Great. Conqueror has their charging shield crush, which is their running attack. That one pins and unbalances, so we want to cover that base as well. See kind of like what the situation kind of ends up being with that. We have Zanhu with Palm Strike, Janjung with Dushi's Choke and Mighty Kick, like the Mighty Kick we were talking about earlier. We also have Hitokiri for Ray Kick and Ray Sweep, so the kick and the sweep and chains. Parrot with Pistol Blast and Walk the Plank. Pistol Blast specifically had like another interaction on top of it that we fixed with this, so that's great. That could cause infinites. If you didn't know, like right now, even like when Pirate launched, you could have two pirates going heavy into gunshot, into heavy gunshot, constantly doing that.
I remember this. Yeah.
Right. So remember that?
Yeah.
So in this instance, this is completely fixed. What we had done before, it was kind of hot fixed it to give it a lot more revenge. So to kind of disable that combo, because if you did it too often, you would feel way too much revenge. In this case, the issue is fixed entirely, and you just cannot like chain lock somebody in that situation.
Nice.
We also have Shigoki with Demon's Embrace, Headbutt and Dodge Headbutts, and Demon Ball. What's interesting too about Demon's Embrace here is that you can still Demon's Embrace somebody in first hit stun, and you're still gonna get the full animation. In all of these cases, if you do manage to pin somebody that's in their first hit stun, it's still gonna play the special animation. It still plays all that sort of stuff, but the opponent is going to be in second hit stun the whole time. They're going to have that armor and interval and sort of stuff. So you want to refrain from hitting them because they're not going to flinch, but they're going to gain a ton of revenge. Yeah, that's great.
Gotcha.
For Demon's Embrace and for other moves that kind of end up like this, where you grab and you really end up pinning your opponent, there's something a little bit different where if you hit them out, they're going to still be hit out of it, but they should be in second hit stun after they get hit out. So it kind of all evens out there. We also have Jormungandr, so quite a list on Yorm, right? Yeah. So heavy finishers, Jotun Farewell, Jotun Gift, Venomous Sting, Jotun Grudge, Hammer Slam, all cool things. So Yorm was a hero that has a lot of pinning moves.
Right.
So this is like a nice case of like a bunch of stuff that gets affected. We also have Ocelotl again with Skull Smash, Ferocious Fang, Hunter Stance. And then finally, our boy Shinobi with
also Reaper's, a lot of
Reaper's Dance, Flip Kick, Spectral Kick, Teleport, Ghoul's Embrace, and Sickle Rain, all that sort of stuff. Nice. So what's super interesting with this is if this ends up working out well, which we're really hoping it does. We've done a lot of testing internally. It seems to have like a good impact on ganking, especially at levels where people are not like extra coordinated. What's cool is that it should let us readjust some of the like nerves that we've done in the past, right? Yeah. So I mentioned Pirate, for example, where her gunshot now feeds an astounding amount of revenge, while it doesn't deal a lot of damage. Because normally if you're hitting somebody, you're feeding revenge equal to the damage the attack deals. But in some cases, we had to crank it up to like 30 or like even higher in the case of Sickle Rain, because it created like those really crazy easy ganks. So if this ends up working out, we can go back and retroactively look at some of these things to go, well, this does not need that much revenge gain because it's not used as effectively in ganks anymore. So there's a lot of this that lets us open up balancing and lets us go on a case-by-case basis and go, well, does this actually need to feed more revenge or not? And we get to the point where we were before. So you're not disadvantaged, like not disadvantaged, but you don't have that feeling of, I don't want to throw this attack because I feed way too much revenge. So there's a lot of that stuff going on. There's like combo attacks that could come back because of this, because they don't really reset hit stun anymore.
Yeah.
So there's a lot to look forward to with this. So I hope players play quite a bit. I know it's complicated.
Yeah.
I know I've been talking for God knows how long now. But it's a complex thing.
Yeah.
It's a super interesting task that we've been trying to do to get ganking into a situation where it's very, very, very skill based. And not just, hey, I'm just going to mash stuff and it's going to land, it's going to feel good. So we really wanted to push towards this to get into a good situation where it's skillful. You have ways to escape ganks when they're not done perfectly. There's ways to do all that sort of stuff. But we're really trying to push that skill gap and focus on the timing and how you do things and what attacks you use and all those little situations to get into a good spot where it feels good, it's rewarding, you don't get super frustrated, because if in these cases, when you get ganked, it's clear that, okay, well, the other players were really, really good, and they didn't just mash because they managed to gank me perfectly.
Yeah.
And I had potentially a chance to escape. So there's a lot of that thing going on that we're really trying to push towards, where like we're pushing skill-based gameplay and not just, well, mash and you're going to be good to go.
Yeah.
But that's it for the testing grounds. It's a lot of stuff, right?
It's quite a bit, yeah.
Yeah.
It's quite a bit, and you know, honestly, thank you. You know, I mean, for those of you following along at home too, I think you know, really what you've done is you've kind of opened up the hood. You let us see a lot of the engine at work here. You know, like how things like hit stun rules and like, you know, damage reduction, a lot of things that, you know, again, are part of our core gameplay,
Yeah.
but you know, just it's part of that design that, you know, maybe not everybody is fully understanding or privy to, because it is fairly complex.
Yeah,
topic,
it is pretty complex,
Yeah.
and for me at least as a designer, right, I love sharing that with people, and I know it kind of, I hope at least that people kind of see it, but it's something that's super interesting for us to be able to peer under the hood, right? Before I became a designer years ago, you're always kind of like, oh, how does this work? How does that work? You know, and you kind of get into that mode of, well, I want to be a designer, I want to do this, I want to do that, and it's kind of hard to get that insight. So I think it's super cool that we're able to do this as well, right? Not everybody has a chance to be able to do this, to communicate with players and to give them an insight of how do things work and be able to show, well, this is how we're trying to fix it. This is where we're going. And we might not always hit the mark perfectly.
Yeah.
I'm sure, like guaranteed, there's going to be things that are going to come up from the testing grounds that will not be perfect. It's okay. And it's okay to tell us, this doesn't work, that doesn't work, that doesn't work. That's great. That's what we want to hear.
Right.
Because ultimately, if the goal is what you'd like to see as a player, but there's things that maybe there's edge cases that we haven't noticed, because we're all human, right? We always say this, but we're always human. If there's things that we haven't really noticed, tell us, let us know.
Yeah.
If you like the concept as a whole, but there's issues in a couple places, tell us, I love this, but there's this, that, it doesn't work. I don't think this should do this. I don't think that should do that. Give us all that feedback. We always go through it. Like, you've seen the reports from the survey and all that sort of stuff. I've seen them as well.
They're pretty hefty. Yeah.
We pour through them. We look at everything.
Yeah.
We're like, like usual, I'm always on Reddit, so that doesn't help. But I look at like a lot of different sources of feedback, but everything counts. And like I said, even if you don't like something, tell us. If you like something, tell us. If it's like, whatever, tell us. Just talk to us as much as possible. We're very lucky to be in a situation where we have that direct contact with players, right? It's indirect-ish, but still we're still able to see all these things. And for me, it's very important as a designer, because that's how we grow, that's how we get better, and that's how we are able to keep this game alive. Like, we're in our 8th year.
Yeah.
You've seen the Vision video, right?
Yeah.
We have 35 million players, a lot of really cool stuff. We're keeping going. We're like, there's 2 new heroes this year, a bunch of hero skins, a bunch of stuff. This is all possible because our players are there. We're able to talk to them. We're able to communicate with them. And we're trying to do the best that we can towards, like, to making sure the game is great and enjoyable by everybody. So I'm super psyched.
Awesome.
I can't wait to get more feedback on this. And that's it. I'm going to stop talking now, because
Totally.
probably people are going to want to kill me.
No, it's fine. But yeah, thank you so much, JC. Super interesting. So, testing grounds will be live starting March 21st. We'll run through March 27th. So again, check it out. Again, mark this as on the VODs. Come back, rewatch it a couple times in a couple of weeks, so you really get a good primer on what to be on the lookout for. But try it out. Give us your feedback. Fill out the surveys at the end of it. We absolutely appreciate it, and we read everything. So
Absolutely everything.
Give us that feedback, y'all. Okay, so that's it for this segment. JC, thank you so much. Appreciate
Thank
it. Warriors, stick around because we are coming back in just a minute with our wrap up and outro for the show. So don't go anywhere.
Brian's not dead. It's okay.
Brian's fine. He's fine. Yeah. He's fine. Okay.
And we are back. Welcome back, everybody. I'm back. I'm alive. I'm not dead.
He's fine.
Yeah.
He's fine. We told
I'm
you.
good.
Told
I'm
you.
good. I was never dead
Never.
yet. So, Year 8, Season 1, Sword of Ashfeld, starting on March 14th. I'm pumped. I'm pumped
Yeah.
for Warden to finally have a salad.
A salad?
Yeah, salad, not a salad. A
No,
salad.
not salad.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
the helmet.
Oh, okay.
So, and I'm a big fan of a salad without a bever. Because a bever just catches all the sweat and spit. It's not fun.
It was a hygienic helmet.
Yeah.
I like it. Okay.
It really is.
Works for me.
So, yeah, I'm not a Bever fan. So let's jump into the recap. We've got brand new limited time game mode that everybody in the chat was super hype about. I was happy to see that. Everybody being like, 1v1v1, this is awesome.
It is.
So next week, March 14th, you can get your 1v1v1 on. It's fun to say. It's fun to say.
Yeah.
So that'll go through April 4th, and we'll have a free event pass during that same time. So you can get stuff. I love stuff.
All the stuff.
Me, for one, I love stuff. So we got a new hero skin available too, which I just talked about the helmet on it. And it was really cool to see this early on, because the team kind of came to me and was like, what do you think? Do you think this is something players would like? And I was like, they've been asking to have this armor in the game since time immemorial. Or immemorium, excuse me. So yeah, hero skin looks great. I'm really happy with how they kind of glowed it up from where it was, in the trailer way back when.
The way back.
So yeah, but battle pass. We've got a new battle pass with Legacy Pass available March 14th. And then we've also got 3 Hero Fests. We've got Warden on April 4th. We've got Scent on April 11th. Yeah, Mr. Incredibilis himself.
Like it.
And everybody's favorite Stabby, Bleedy, Peacekeeper, April 18th. As well as a throwback event, the Rite of Champions.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah. I've always loved that key art. It just has such a, if anyone's ever scrolled, the For Honor concept art, that's that's on ArtStation. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of that has that big monolithic statue vibe. I'm always a big fan. So additionally, on March 21st, we just heard JC and Nolan talk all about the TG. Mm-hmm. So I'm excited to see how the tests go on kind of stopping some of those 100-0 confirmed ganks.
Yes. Yeah.
Which for those of you in the chat who were missing that's what the point is. So we've also got some fun stuff for you, though. We've got a selection of Community Corner videos.
Community Corner, my favorites.
Let's take a look at what the community has submitted in the last month and some of our favorites based on what I felt like choosing.
I'm excited.
So first up, we've got Never Saw It Coming.
Put the asterisk around the word saw.
I wonder what this could end in.
That's it.
Oh,
no.
I think the person who submitted that was like, I would self-delete if this happened to me. And then somebody called it 3 years ago,
Nice.
Wolf Dog Art Corner. called Varangian 3 years before.
It's pretty good.
Before she happened.
They got the helmet, right?
Yeah, and then here we've got a clip of the absolute rawest bot play. So there's a bot out there with the 200 IQ, just zooming around. Just
It's pretty good.
And then shout out to Mr. Sheep Live for being
Oh.
the world first PvP only Rep 70 Varangian. But hey, you got a whole lot of work cut out for you now,
Got
buddy, with
10
Rep
more.
80. you can't be first on them all. And then here we've got the best shield in town, which, as everyone knows, is the conch with the bonk.
You sure it's not Varangian there?
Not according to this.
Okay, let's see. Oh, he's got the revenge.
Oh.
There you go. Let's see, this is where everything unravels.
Yep. Yeah. Once the orange guy gets the yellow, it's over for everybody.
Oh,
there it
nice,
is.
nice.
There it is.
That was
Best
slick.
shield in town.
That was slick.
So
awesome.
yeah, it's always fun because Nolan makes a point of never watching them
I know.
beforehand, and I pick them, so I know what they are.
I would be surprised.
Yeah. So we got a lot more though coming.
Yeah. So we got some content of the week. So again, we're still just finishing up Year 7 Season 4. So right now, today actually, we have a Hero Fest, the very first one for Fira.
Boosh!
There it is, the Divine Precision Unique Execution available for 7K Steel. That one is sick.
Yeah.
I am so excited for that.
It makes me so happy every time.
Yeah,
I'm just like, yes! Is it going to miss this time? It's going to... No, in the face!
No, because if she didn't do it every time, she wouldn't be perfect.
Exactly.
So there you go.
Exactly.
All right, so there's that. And starting next week, March 14th, don't forget, new hero skin, the Unsung Knight, available for 25K Steel. There's a time-limited execution, War Weary, available for 10K.
What was it? Man,
It's all right.
we're out. We're in. We're out. We're
War
in. We're
Weary.
out.
Because battle is hard, okay? It's tiring, it's exhausting, but somebody will come out on top there. There you go. And we also have a time-limited mythic outfit, the Paragon of Hope, for 15K Steel. And I love this one. I love that the cool little cow skull has glowing eyes because they creep me out, and I appreciate that. So
Yeah.
I like it. I like it.
Yeah, anything with glowy eyes.
Anything, yeah, honestly. I'm a sucker for glowing eyes and fun content videos.
Especially
and
when it's
lore.
Centurion.
Also Centurion.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Also, we have an Arcade Quest as well as a Medic Challenge coming on. So Arcade Quest, Down the Rabbit Hole, available for the last time we get to say this for Marching Fire owners only, because next week, again, arcade mode for everybody. So, but for this week, you have to have Marching Fire. So, play Down the Rabbit Hole, exclusive quest this week, and the Medic Challenge. So, at the end of the challenge, beat the faction with the most allies revive. So, again, if you see me out there, pick me up, please, because I've probably been 100-0 gang.
Bro, can I get a res?
Yeah. Please fill out the orders. I know there's res 5 people order there. There it is.
But last but not least, we got a March roadmap. Let's take a peek at what's coming up.
All right.
Please. So, yeah, we got a lot of stuff going on in Year 8 Season 1 launch on 14th with a whole bunch of stuff that you can read with your own eyeballs. Some of you will have already seen this on the Reddit. 21st, we got Testing Grounds, and 28th, we've got Extra XP Fest.
Nice.
And you see all the other many things coming here in the month of March right there. So, I think that's everything. We've got it all.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
It was a lot.
Thank you so much at home for tuning in. Don't forget to follow us here on Twitch, because some of you don't for some reason. Also follow us on social media. We're at For Honor Game on Twitter, on the Instagram, and then and the Facebook. And for those of you of a certain age demographic, and then also at Ubisoft at Ubisoft on TikTok. So yeah, thank you so much again for joining in, Nolan. Thank you for joining me as a host today. Right. And we will see you guys not only on the battlefield, but on the next Warriors Den.
That's right.
Bye.